Hello. We're looking dark, aren't we? So we were just... What's going on? No, it's meant to put... Let's remove that one for now. There we go. So we're just attempting to figure out the feedback. When we listened back to last week, so you could hear it echoing. So we've turned down, so the headphones need to be in. We thought we could just put in the adapter, and we've turned the volume down. So hopefully that should sort it out. And we've got a bit of a better background on that side, so hopefully that will be okay. I think this is as close. That's okay. That's all right. How's everyone doing? We actually did a little bit better on time management today. What does this one look like when we put this on a full screen? Okay, so we've got that in the picture, but that doesn't matter, does it? And what does it look like when we do the two? It's all right that way round. Okay, so I think it's the smaller one we want. There we go. Yes. All righty. Let's get to it. Our little ones remembered their hearts last minute. So we've got green, not you can really tell the colours, but they're green and orange hearts down there. And you can't really tell on the nails. Just managed very last minute to paint the nails. But we're just going to put it on full screen on this one. There we go. And we didn't have the microphone on last time we did this, but we have some, last time it was Cobalt root. Not something root, but this is we're getting, see, as soon as we go live, we know what it is. We then make sure we read it to know what it is before we come on to double prepare. So that's why. So last time we had black Cohosh root, which is associated with the power of the feminine and is said to bring protection and guidance by creating a deep and flowing energetic connection between body and soul, assisting us in understanding our emotions as a source of empowerment. This powerful root connects us with the lioness within, aligning us with our internal sources of creativity. So that was really good to start with, wasn't it? And this one is, so that was black Cohosh. So we were right. This is Cobalt. So Cobalt is the resin and therefore the lifeblood of a tree. The word Cobalt comes from the Aztec word Copali, meaning the sacred blood of the tree. It is known for its powerful healing qualities and has been used by native peoples across the globe for centuries. Used to heal, repair, and protect, it is said to offer such a high level of purification that it clears the way to connect with spirit and the divine. It is also often used to reduce anxiety and to bring balance, calm, and harmony, opening the soul to inspiration and divine guidance. So that's wonderful. So we're just going to burn this. We just want to check if you can hear us okay. Hi. Just put a comment in. Mind you, I'm sure if you can't hear us, you'd put a comment in anyway. So we've just put all of this burning and ready. We're very acute on our sense of smell, and we love our smoke for cleansing. We love our sound for cleansing as well, actually. I'm surprised we go simple. We can get quite complicated and put lots in. Ah, it feels better already. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Thank you. So just do the cards. Tita Pomo Manata. Yeah, we've got a box opening. So we just watched the cancer video of ours, which was the very start. We didn't realise it was the very start. Well, one of us did, but the ones of us now don't. And this is why we always get absolutely amazed at everything. Okay, that's like, there we go. Have some. Ah, put that there. Oh, just one more thing while we remember. We were almost so prepared, but not quite. Get the candle. Okay. So how are you doing on this Friday? Wherever you are, is it Friday morning, afternoon, evening? For us, it's just gone 5:30 in the evening. Oh, look at that. That's already the daytime star and the nighttime star ready for Venus retrograde tomorrow and Chiron retrograde. So let's light up the quack quack in the corner. And we'll put us back on. And we'll put the big screen back on. Okay, it's going to do that again. So we'll move that, put the big screen on. There we go. And then we can add that to the stream and it won't go on. Oh, wonderful. We'll get there eventually. So, in the shower today, very fitting. It was like, we're not doing the axes of, I don't know what you call them actually, is it the qualities? We're not doing the cardinal, fixed, mutable qualities. We're going to dance with the elemental forces. So we're going to go, and I think how we're going to do it is water. And some of us was getting we always get a bit complicated, don't we? And they're like, we don't want it all to be just water. We want it to be like 2/3 water and 1/3 another sign. And it's like, oh yeah, but then we'll get a bit left out and we want to get a bit flustered on these anyway. So is that a bit close to the microphone fur? I think it may be. I'm just gonna move that over there. We managed to get the microphone out of it, but it's got one of those big fluffy things on. We just realised it's quite close to the candle. We've been known to set our hair on fire in the past and lots, so we'll keep an eye on that. Luckily, we're talking about the water element, so it won't fuel it. See, there we go. Off bye-bye with the fairies. We were talking about the elements. That hasn't been complicated. Mind you, we always start off with saying we're being complicated, but we're getting much more simple. If we go back to when we started doing our lives on Joy to Coco and ShintoSEYE, we'd be planning for days and we'd have piles of books and everything going on. So we are getting much more simplified and in the flow. And we were also thinking before we came on how still the nerves and everything and get daunted, but we always enjoy it when we get on and get in the flow of the card, especially our little ones. And when our little ones enjoy it, the body feels it. And when the body feels it, us in the mind are just like, oh, okay, let's just go with it, because it's really nice having the body feel really good. So we're just going to do all 3 water signs, all 3 fire signs, all 3 earth signs. We can probably put this back on now in Jewel, which would be that one. There we go. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? And then, so water for the emotions flowing. We've got our colours on today, green and orange. We didn't do the Liffruma banner, but that's okay. And so water, to get the water flowing, the emotions flowing, the intuitive Pisces, spiritual connection energies. Mind you, we were going to start with Cancer. Maybe we'll start with Pisces. So this is why we were going to decide in the moment of where exactly to start. Then we'll bring in the fire to burn off the water, because on the ones of us that do the editing, some of them, what is it? It's the Leo one, a quantum leap from before to after. and they were like brought in the fire and the burning and rain sounds and rain. I really enjoyed watching that one back. And what we were saying, to put it in timing with what we were saying. So we're going to then evaporate the water off of the fire, and then the fire will come in and keep burning, because in the multiversal and universal laws of nature, the fire, you'll get natural bushfires or ground fires to create purification and to start afresh, and then you get all the new growth come through. And so although it's quite dramatic for us as human beings, it is a natural life process. And there has been a lot going on about whether it's the waste product of the bacteria or us talking about worms and compost. It's about the decomposition, about the death, about the ending cycle. And there's been so much going on. We'd say a lot of clarification, and there is to some of us a lot of clarification, but that's to the ones that are locked inside that can't really share it with the other ones, hence why we're doing the process that we're doing. And when we were editing and uploading and scheduling, because we've been really good with I know you don't like these words good, but you know, they'll do for now. We've got up till Monday, so all day Monday is scheduled for the words to go out. Yeah, get rid of the words that don't serve us anymore and bring back in the other ones for impeccability, for the videos that are going to go out for each channel. So on Monday, when we start editing, we're not having to get them out for Monday, and that's for all the astros for each sign, each channel, and the dailies. No, we're not quite got on the daily. We've recorded the dailies. We've got tomorrow's and Sundays, but we haven't got Mondays. We've got it recorded on video. We've got it recorded on audio. We just got to put it all together. But they take even longer than doing it on the computer. It's like, you know, you can spend about 8 hours for just doing one of those tiny daily Liffruma shorts. If between filming it, doing the audio, editing the audio, because we talk so much, you've got to bring it all together. It's on the phone. We've tried it on the computer as well, but it does, the editing software on the computer doesn't have certain things or doesn't do certain things, and it's just like, whew. So it's such a navigating process, but it is fun, although we're not really managing. Actually, no, last time, right at the start, the house was a mess, everything was a mess, but we managed to do a big wash up in the bath. We've got a third of the kitchen is clean on the surface area. We've been really good with our food intake, and we're getting to be better around the house, but we haven't got back out in the garden. So we are gradually bringing stuff back in as well. So there is this balance coming into play and navigating. But it does take it out of us. We're normally kind of out for the count on the Saturday. And this is what is also interesting, because we hear people say, and we do agree with it, but it's not a hard, fast rule, we don't think. We hear people say about if one is dancing and flowing with the healing powers of love, of God, of source energy, then they won't get exhausted. And it's like, well, does that mean we're not flowing with source energy? And so we get that questioning going on again. It's like, no, we believe we are flowing with source energy. And it's like, well, why do we get exhausted then? Why does it take it out of us? And this will go right back from being a therapist, doing our Reiki, our nerve touch, Thai massage, aromatherapy, the other stuff. We were doing our aroma, complementary therapy teacher training. We were doing our yoga teacher training. We're at the end of our yoga teacher training. We were doing our bookkeeping work, self-employed. We were also being a therapist and doing Reiki and nerve touch, Thai massage. And there was a fifth. And when we were doing our sound healing therapy training course. So it's 5 things we were doing. So we weren't actually stopping and taking any time for ourselves. And it was a lot of giving to education or giving to others, but there wasn't much giving to ourselves. But that's because we didn't really know. We thought we were giving to ourselves by doing that. And we were kind of desperate, so we were just learning and doing all the things to do to kind of ease the physical pain and get financially self-sufficient and do everything that you think you're meant to do. And it served us for then, and we never completed anything for whatever reasons on the majority of time, apart from our Reiki. We became a master in Reiki because we weren't meant to, because of what we're doing now and what we're creating. At least that's where we feel it's flowing. And so having the balance between not just nurturing time of healthy, pampering, but just downtime. We spend a lot of time with our breath. And when we connect into on such a deep level to source energy in this context of alive of other people, there's a lot of energy flowing through. And so that's why we feel so exhausted the next day, because there's so much fresh energy coming into our system that it then needs to be processed. So that's part of the integration cycle. It's part of corpse pose, shavasana, at the end of a yoga practice. So what does corpse pose at the end of a yoga practice do? It's a still time. It's the pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. It's the sine wave, which goes up and down, and it's the moment of balance in the middle. It's the pulse of the heartbeat of Mother Earth. It's the ebb and flow, and it's the so you don't get, it's not just a consistent flow going around a circle with the momentum. There's a so we always wonder what's going to come out in these pre-chit chats. So with the sine wave, we're going to put us on small. Let's see if we can do this better. So with the sine wave, if we're going to start at 0, so let's say this green heart is 0. Okay, so one of us knew. That's like -5 or -10 and +10, because 10 is an important thing. So the green line is 0. So in a sine wave, you've got a one full cycle, is you've got an uphill and then you've got a downhill. Oh, look, that's why you wanted the 3 greens. We've got 2 light greens and a dark green. So there is the teacher in us. We've done all our teachers training. Was it a teaching degree, secondary teaching degree, specialising in maths? So, but we obviously had to dance down the abstract route of maths. So you start at the 0, you go up the hill. Now, most people have kind of cycled the bike. If you haven't cycled the bike, walking, initially, starting uphill, it's kind of like if you're stopped, you have to kind of get the momentum. You have to get yourself out of inertia, out of being stopped. So it can be a little bit slow to start with. And if you've seen an exponential curve will start off low and then suddenly goes up really steep. So it's kind of like the start of that exponential curve before it goes up really steep. So it starts off slow, and then if you're into stocks or trading, or you do technical analysis on the graphs, you'll kind of understand all of this. So then it curves up, and then you get the momentum going, you get into kind of rhythm, but then you're getting to the end, you've almost used up all your energy, things start slowing off, but things start slowing off as you get to the top of the hill. And then you get to the top of the hill, and you still keep moving, but it's slowing down. You don't have to put so much exertion, so much energy in, and then you're getting to the edge. But don't worry, it's an edge where you can, it's got a gradient where you're not going to fall off. You can just roll down, but you're just rolling down. You don't have to pedal, and so suddenly you come over the hill. You're not putting any energy in at all. You're coming down quick. So this is slow. Then you get some momentum up and get steady, and then you get a bit slower again, and then you go quick, but then you've got to put the brakes on. You don't want to go too quick, because if you go too quick, you're just gonna have an accident at the end of the day. Like, for instance, us accidentally cycling down steps and going over the handlebars and breaking our collarbone 2 months before we meant to cycle John O'Groats to Land's End, which we then did we only took the 3 months off. So you've got to put the brakes on and get a steady momentum going down, and then okay, so we needed more graphs. We should have done this. So you go up here, you go up, and then you come down here, and then you're coming still down the hill. You've managed to start putting the brakes on here to get to the 0. You come down, and then you get to the trough again, and then you've got to put a bit more exertion in. So you've got a full cycle. You've got a whole uphill, and you've got a whole downhill, a whole hill, and a whole valley, a whole trough. And so that momentum, when you put that wave Okay, sorry guys, they just want us to do the colour ordering on the stars. And what was it? One of us was saying how we had to get the alignment down because some people say, oh, you've got to do the alignment, you've got to do this, and it's OCD. And when we were watching it back, one of us goes, can we? I'll just let you say it, won't I? Because I can't do your accent. And we still get nervous about getting into it all. If you're wondering, you've got our knee supports on and our ankle supports, but we've also got our shoulder supports on because we get on here for a while. So they're watching it back. It's all by day, banana, alignment and harmony. That's it. So when you've got everything around you in alignment and harmony, and when you're looking at stuff that's in alignment and harmony, there's that reflected back inwards. And so it's not just about OCD, it's about alignment and harmony. And the OCD, I suppose, comes into play when it's not done, when it's in excess. There's no good or bad, there's no addiction, there's no nothing. You just got the addiction and the OCD when there's an in excess of something, one is doing something too much. And that's a sign to go, okay, we're doing this too much. That means there's something out of sync inside of us that's attempting to align itself. And so it was interesting because we're watching ourselves back regularly and learning heaps, not just by watching ourselves and listening to ourselves. There's more stuff coming up. We're learning about the different ones of us and how we react and will more so respond now. We are getting a lot better and more responsive. We can put this back onto the full screen. That works. Yay! So there was going to be lots that came out. But it's always like, oh, we want to say that, we want to say that. And it's like, well, let's just see what happens in the moment, in the flow-mo. Oh, we were outside earlier and we said about, we wanted to say mow the grass, but we said, get the grass mowed, get the mask rowed, or something like that. And it was like kind of, we went straight into getting the mast rowed, went into mast sales growth or something. I don't know, we can't say it now, it doesn't matter, so it doesn't matter, does it? So yeah, there's been lots wanted to come out. We didn't know what was going to come out. We do understand now, which is why we put it in the title, that these pre-chats, these verbal diarrheas beforehand, is important to calm nerves, to facilitate a clearing of our channels, to get familiar with the energies. And so quite a few things. There's always quite a few things. And yeah, so we wanted to kind of say about the week. Our food and the eating, like we've been getting so much more clarity. We've been talking about the orange juice and prebiotics a lot, and the importance of eating the whole of the food. So bought orange juice, well, that's just industrial and processed, and just for us, because diet and nutrition is so complicated, we've gone easy, eat like a rainbow, don't eat processed, and like that. So for instance, we bought meat from our local fruit and veg delivery that we can get meat from there as well, and it's actually grass fed. One of the packets, what did it say on it? It was bred, reared and fed. So basically it was all done on the farm down the way, about 20-30 miles away, which is perfect. And we know that we get in those states where we go to the shop and then end up buying like processed meat and cheese, so we may as well get it from there, pay a bit more, and know that we've got really good food going into us if we're going to eat that. And because these can take us younger, because we're going deeper each time, because we're getting more energy flowing through us, the meat helps ground us. I've noticed, and it's also something to do with the amino acids. Meat has all 9 essential amino acids just in the meat, whereas you need to, I think when we were starting out, and first of all we weren't able to cook well for ourselves, we would get the healthy frozen meals from this company. Healthy meals that we would then freeze. Then we would get things like the HelloFresh box deliveries and Mindful Chef. Then we did that for a few years, and it would start catalyzing things, and then we'd kind of start cooking. But if we couldn't cook, it would literally be rice and peas, because we knew that rice and peas would get the 9 essential amino acids. We went away from the whole, like, rice would kind of, anything would kind of bloat us. All we have to do is eat or drink and we bloat. So we kind of just ignored that. And recently it's been kind of the ones of us who've been quite uncomfortable with our weight, and we've been wanting to maybe try the keto diet, because we've been seeing bits about that on YouTube. But other ones of us have been saying, we don't think that's a good idea. I think we need to just do what we're doing and is working, because some of us believe what's going on with the weight and the water retention, because we are like 80% really good with our food, is something to do with the cushioning of the joints. Because if you put our body into a graph and or like a Rubik's cube, there's on so many dimensions and layers, which is where all our information and our wording comes from, going on, that we use our tongue and our mouth yoga and our breath, everything we talk about. But it's not done on a conscious level. It's done on it's a surrendering to the power of the sub and superconscious and to the body, but sometimes bringing in the conscious power, because we can't just fully relax, because the structural integrity of the bones and the ligaments don't hold the body together. So that's what we think it's about. And it's like, let's just ride it out and keep doing what we're doing, because some of us feel that there is going to be big shifts happening in the body and everything. But we don't seem to be able to get any more of that out. But eating the whole of the food. So that protein was another thing that's come to us recently. So the fruit, the orange, juicing it's great. When we do juice our greens and everything, that's really good to get a shot of minerals and a shot of nutrients to the blood if one does have IBS and trouble absorbing nutrients. But we need the fiber. So we tend to have a lot of smoothies, where we blend stuff up, because then the ones of us that don't chew properly, it means we're still getting the whole of the fruit or the whole of the vegetables, we're getting all the fiber, but it takes the chewing out of it. But you see, even the chewing is really important. Chewing, would you believe it, helps the respiratory system. So if you're just going to be drinking juices all the time, even though you've got the whole of the food in it, it's still not going to be great for the body, because you're not chewing. So there's always pros and cons to everything. It's about having a balance of not doing one thing too much and balancing it out. And that's what happened to us. We can switch into the alternate personality and get focus where that's all we kind of do. And it's like, no, we need to like tidy the house, we need to keep us clean, we need to do the editing. And yes, you've got these targets, but they're targets that we've put on ourselves, and we don't have to do them. If there's other stuff not getting done that needs to get done, then we pull back and we don't go down that in excess route. We've got to keep the ebb and the flow and the balance between us all. And so we've got to one of those points, which is why we do these chit chats, because we've got the emotions flowing, but we don't want to cry because the mascara and the makeup will run. But it's also lovely doing these and actually putting a bit of, we've never really been one for wearing makeup, apart from when we would go out at the weekend or to parties. So can we remember what we said to get the emotions running and flowing? Talking about the food and the meat, the process, in excess, not doing too much, balancing things out. We set our own targets. So these pre-chit chats are great for us, because it means we can get into the energies, we flow us, we've got to our heart center, we've got to our emotional center, balanced with the intellect. So yes, the food's been really important for us to stay grounded, eating the whole of the food. And then the proteins, we've actually managed to pre-soak a lot of our dried soya beans, our dried kidney beans, and our dried chickpeas, and cook them all. And we made our hummus for the first time yesterday again, because we haven't really made anything like that in the kitchen for ages. We need to make our granola, and all of this is what helps ground us. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. we want to keep doing these, but I think it might be wise to have a week or two off to then get in the flow of things again, and then do another like round of 4, and then maybe a week off, a round of 4, or we might just continue doing it and we might start next week. We're not quite sure, but rather than doing the astro energies, we might continue doing it next week and just do pick a card or something and change it up, because it's at the same time we need to keep the momentum going, we need to keep the ball going at the same time. So so we're not quite sure what's gonna happen next week. We need to keep the momentum and the ball rolling, but we also need to balance things out. But we really like what we're achieving and what we're doing so far. And 2 of our videos, 1 on each channel of the 4, I think it's ShintoSE and Joy to Coco, actually got almost 300 views. I don't think they'll probably watch the videos much. I don't think our content is you have to be really into some certain things to like our content, and you've got to be really into wanting to take self-responsibility, self-accountability and self-management for one's own health and well-being. I mean, we can talk about wanting to heal, we can talk about doing the rest of it, but if we're going to be drinking our Coke and our pop and eating heaps of chocolate and not doing the things we need to do, then it's kind of like, and so we really need to feel like we're leading by example and walking our talk, and we feel we are, and we know how hard it is to give all that up, but we don't do giving up. It's about adding things too that bring us joy. We had to redefine our understanding of joy. Joy was alignment and harmony and making the body feel good and minimizing the physical pain, and it's all working. So we said about how we wanted the big everyday rich tarot, because we used the smaller one last week, it was 4 weeks ago, wasn't it? So this is the 5th one in a row we've done, a week in between each, so it's been 4 weeks. So we wanted to get both of them actually. So this is the pack we used. We haven't been too long, that's good. This is the pack we used last time, which is the medium pack. We do have the mini, but we've got them up on our board. Oh yeah, the board changes today. And it's just here, we can actually get it for you. So today is the second month. Today is the second month in the summer solstice. So this is, oh look, we haven't got the right title at the top. This is the summer solstice, we haven't changed that bit. It's June the 21st to July the 20th. And so these are the cards that came out. And we just see these themes everywhere and stuff that we're watching. 2 Aphrodite, Romantic Love, and 52 Magical Map Shifter. So they're for the whole season. Card in the middle is for the month. This is actually 3 of Cups now, but it's going to change to the 7 of Cups. And we're in the 7th at the moment, it's really big. And then you have these ones down here. And so we've literally just left 51 Moonlight and the Knight of Cups. And we love this because it's a white cat. Here the white cat's on a box out in the ocean. So thinking outside of the box, we're using the box to float on. That's the King of Cups, and Magic Prayer, number 32. But now the cat's jumped off the box. It's a different type of cat. It's a long head white, but they got a haircut on the way. Jumped off the box. A turtle came along, or a tortoise, sea tortoise came along, and offered a lift to land. So to help them out of the the isolation of navigating consciousness and the ocean and the subconscious, and to take them to land, the conscious, and to surface again. And so this will change for 7 of Cups, and all of these change. And the first 2 here, oh, can we remember them? Peaks of Joy, 33, and the High Priestess, number 2. So number 2 in Roman numerals is like an 11, so it's a double 1, and 33. So you've got 11 and 33. So look, finally, it's our favourite deck. So we're just going to do a little mini box opening, and then we're going to have the macro and the micro, the large and the small. And we also we do really like what the books say, because you get all the different people's perspectives that's created the book. So here it is. We like these boxes as well. They're not I suppose they're not really the best for storage, but she's playing a flute thing. She's got the little black cat. It's got the magnetic box. I think that's why we like it, because it's a magnetic box. We like the magnetic box, and it's a proper sturdy box. Oh, it's a yellow book. We weren't expecting that. We would have expected it to be blue, like on the front. It's about the yellow and the gold and empowerment. But they're not really practical. It'd be great if they had the box and then they had like another little box inside, so that then you could take these out and store the big box somewhere else. King of Swords. So you've got we really like that. We like it when it's got coloured pictures. It's much better when it has coloured pictures. And we love it when it's got a little just quote thing down here. Look to me for answers from the head, not the heart. But we're actually ending. It's got notes. Mind you, it's a very shiny paper. I don't know what that would be like to write on. Notes after each. Not seen that in many books before. It's actually a note page after each major arcana card. That's really interesting. We don't recognise that Empress card. We normally really... So everyone has little different kind of experiences and way they word things, because that then said that the Empress was the divine feminine, whereas we say the Empress is feminine and the High Priestess is the divine feminine. But then different ones of us say different things. So we're still... It's not until we probably get our spreadsheets together and start really kind of delving in, writing down loads of stuff, and really coming to our own conclusion that makes sense for all of us. So what we do is we separate out when we do this. So we'd get the major arcana first of all, and this puts it into our subconscious mind and our programming, and we'd just end up kind of going round in 4, so it makes 4 piles. Get to really quickly do the subliminal messaging into the subconscious. Those 2 have got the most, so they're the biggest ones, and these 2 have got the least. And then we just end up making these into their 4 piles of suits. And then again, we kind of make 4 piles. But we go round. So that one's gone round for the top. So it's ace, 2, 3, 4. We then will do the bottom. So it then goes on to the kings and the queens and the pages. And then we'll do the top again, but we'll start from the next pile. So that's got the ace. This time this has got, that started with the 2. Oh no, that started with the ace. Where's the ace on this one? There it is. So this time this one starts with the ace rather than there. And then we go back to the kings and start on that same side again. So then they all end up with yeah, you kind of get our drift. So it kind of really just, you know, muddles them up then. We can get a bit confused anyway, but it's not the best on our nails. And then we get each one of these piles here and we just quickly then, these are the most, so they just do 2 apart on each one. So that's how we shuffle. This is how we shuffle a new pack to connect all the imagery into our subconscious as we're looking at the pictures, but it's just done really quickly. It means that the cards get pretty shuffled, which we always like. So there's a connection to each of the cards, because yeah, it always intrigues us when people say they haven't seen any of those cards, that card before. So it's like whenever we get a new deck, we always kind of look through the pictures. It's one of the first things we do to see how we like it. So this one, because it's less, we do 3 at one end, and then it's 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, and then there'll be 3 at the other end because of the number of the cards. So 3, and then a major arcana, 2 major arcana, 2 major arcana, 2 major arcana, 2 major arcana, and then there's 3 at the end. And then they were the 2. We take one of the smallest and one of the biggest, and we just shuffle them. And so then they get pretty shuffled. And then we take the bottom, when we do the bottom half, we take the bottom few off, because otherwise it can end up staying the same on the bottom. Whereas when we split it and then separate the bottom pack like that, to make sure that the bottom never gets so we're on legendary Liffruma magic. We started with opening Pandora's box and the box opening, and then we went to Joy to Coco, Journey of Involution to Co-consciousness. Then we went to just going inwards to the depth. Then we went to it's interesting, we started on a mini astro tarot and body parts lesson, but this time it's a tarot box opening and shuffling. And then we went to Shinto self-empowerment, which is kind of like the past. Joy to Coco is the future via depth. And then to ShintoSEYE, the Shinto yoga experience. And then back here again, because the first one was like an opening one, a bit of a lesson. Whereas now this is just more of the astro sign ones like the others, but using the different energies of the channel. But this brings ShintoSEYE is the present. This is the past, present, and future all together, bringing them all together. Okay, so that's the U shuffle, which we love. And then, oh, we'll just do a little pre-shuffle on U. And we're just going to have one card from each of these. When we do it, so it'll be a Liffruma card, one of each of these. And then we've also got the Archangel Metatron. The box came damaged, which is actually the one we've got now, but they replaced it for us. So we've got 2 packs of that now. Yeah, we're feeling like summer was over, but actually today is the day that the kids split up from school. So it's not really over. It's kind of just started from one perspective, but we're in the middle of summer. And so there is actually in the garden the option of the second spring. So I think in the garden, we're going to take the option of second spring. Because the first round didn't work too much. We've kind of missed most of the seeds. We haven't missed doing carrots. But we can always buy some vegetable plants and get them posted to us and get them in. We wanted to take a video of it because it all got wild and overgrown, but then one of us randomly went out in one morning and just did a bit of weeding. So yeah, this kind of got squished when it came to us, which makes sense because it is for us. We are putting the Merkaba, the tetrahedron on the bottom, the tetrahedron on the top. They're coming together, but they're squishing down to create that width so it can get the height. But it needs to connect in first. She's just done a new deck at the moment as well. So this is a different type of box. It's got the ribbon, no magnets, but the ribbon. So we like that because it's got the ribbon, but we like the magnets too. If it had that and the magnets, we'd love it. We also like the bit of ribbon in the middle like the other box had. This doesn't have that. But she does have the book, coloured pages in the book with the coloured pictures, which we really like. And a little brief bit there at the top. So I don't know if we'll keep the books there, but we'll put that over there. We'll keep the books out just in case and easy to get to, in case we do want to read anything from them. And these are the cards. They're a bit smaller. I would have expected them to be a bit bigger. But that's 2. I was going to say they're pretty thick and plasticky, but they're not. They're quite thin, but they've got a nice finish on them. It's nice when they have a nice finish on them because it kind of gives them a layer of protection. Otherwise, the edges can start, the paper on the edges can start kind of showing really easy. So having that end touch finish, and these also have the gold shiny bits on. We like when it's got the shiny bits on. Silver, especially the rainbow shiny that you've got on the edge. I think that's a bee to start with. We've been admiring the bee, a wasp and a bee in the garden earlier today, and a blackbird flew in to steal a blueberry from our tree right when our cat's laying on our lap really close to us. It's a very brave blackbird. So you've got all these have numbers actually as well, so we're just going to do the same process with these to separate the numbers. And so we kind of had our Metatron crystals, the star tetrahedron crystals last time. So this time we've got the cards. It's a Christ consciousness deck. I think it's actually out tomorrow. So Venus retrograde, they're stuck together. The indigo, mystery and mastery of life. Oh yeah, it is the South. It does say the South Mastery Oracle. And 20, that's 21. Yeah, it's the 21st today and the 22nd tomorrow. Archangel Sandalphon, with you now. There's 3 stuck together, and 23, duality, balance needed. So that's really interesting that those three were stuck together. Sorry, we were trying to do the picture there. Oh, the rainbow is interesting. They were stuck together as well because Monday morning we woke up and saw the most incredible double rainbow. So you had the rainbow where it was like one strip of colours and then another strip of colours underneath it. So it was one solid rainbow, but it kind of went through the rainbow twice, and then your actual another separate rainbow. Because we've not seen that. We've seen a double rainbow as in two separate ones. We've seen a double rainbow as in one rainbow together with two separate colours, although that's rarer. We've not seen that as much. But we've never seen it together. So that was like really started our week off magically. Silver, warrior of light and transformation, light and dark sticking together. Silver is our affinity colour. I don't know if you know yours. That's from our Native American astrology sign, which is the otter for Aquarius. Ancestors, appreciation, healing, and dimensional gateway, 33 and 34. Evolution, birthing anew. We thought Amanda Ellis was the artist, but she's not an artist. She just does the amazing writing to go with it. It's interesting. I find it interesting that it's normally the creators and normally the people who does the writing, and then they get the artist or someone does it all. But it's not very rare that it's the artist that does a deck, and then you get someone to write a blurb to go with the artwork, which we find interesting for some reason, because we would almost say there's 1,000 words in a picture. There's more in a picture than there can be in words sometimes. But most of the decks belong to the people that created them and then credit the artist. But then we do live in a world that I think rates success more on academia and words. So from that perspective, it would make sense. And when one creates art, they do normally want to have a blurb and a little bit of a narrative and story to go with it. We tend to notice. It may not be all the time, but we do notice that a little bit. So we're going to have to change our foot position in a second. So there's the picture of the Merkaba on the back. You can see the triangles, pyramids, one going into each other. So yeah, water signs first. And we've got our little cards there to show the element force. And hopefully we'll remember more. And just we're watching it's confusing doing the editing, we're watching back with the astro dies and the orders and the patterns changing. But again, we've just been starting it out, and we all have to start out somewhere, don't we? Okay, so all the cards are wonderfully shuffled. And we'll have one of each of them in a minute. Let's just manage to swap our leg patterning. It's gone dead, so we can't quite feel them to move them. There we go. So here's our water. So we're going to start with water. The water element, the emotions, the triangle that points down, water flows down. And so we're going to start, we wanted to start with the youngest. And then go up to the oldest. But we've got a feeling that we might start with Pisces, the more spiritual, and then go down to the youngest. I suppose that makes sense because we're in Cancer season at the moment. So it means we'd end on Cancer. You see that? Yeah. So there's Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So we'll do our Liffruma card first. So we tend to always work on an axis. We wouldn't normally, what we would normally, well, yeah, see what we'd normally do here is do one water, one fire, one earth, one air to balance them out. But that is what the cardinal axis is. That is what the mutable axis is. That is what the fixed axis is. There's one, for instance, the cardinal axis, the global axis is Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Itchy nose. So that has the balance. So it will be interesting to see what it's like just doing all the water signs. I suppose because we can be quite emotional sometimes. It's like, oh, maybe it will get us just too much in our emotions and will be too much to handle. But it's practice, isn't it? This is it's going into each of the energies and experiencing and filtering through each of the energies. So thank you, Liffruma. We've done the shuffling. We're just going to actually start with our humming and our buzzing that we do. So feel free to just join in, have a little shake, and have a buzz and a hum, inward sounding, outward sounding, through your nose, through your mouth, however you like. We tend to put our head down, so you may wish to put your head down or not. Yeah, and ours goes primal. But sometimes when we get to a certain center and alignment or whatever, then tune does come out. But the monotone primal note is kind of like just the standard note, and then other different stuff comes out. We said it was intuitive, but I don't know if intuitive is the right word. We're just buzzing and making sound, but we're not choosing to make a certain sound or note. It's just sometimes we hit places where it just comes out. I mean, some people they have strokes or stuff happens to them and they can't talk, but they can sing. So it's that free flow, that improvised state, I suppose. So this is how we connect into source energy and get to the deeper center of ours, for unconditional love, in the highest good of Mother Gaia, planet Earth, the galaxy, animals, all humans, everyone, especially everyone coming to watch this, and us. So yeah, we invite you to join in for the same. I just wish to take a few inhalations and exhalations first, just to center and balance yourself. Okay, that's not too bad. An hour and 9 minutes. We're wondering whether maybe it's a good idea to do a separate live, pre-chit chat, but we decided not to. So beautiful, legendary Liffruma. What have you got for us for Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, please? Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Pisces and Scorpio. And we'll choose Cancer. And then we'll do the top and the bottom of the pack. So the bottom of the pack is the subconscious, the unseen, the unaware spectrum of energies. And the top, the conscious, the seen, the aware spectrum of energies for these. Yeah, maybe that will work. Okay. And we can put you up there, Liffruma. Are we going to do these? Yeah, we'll do it all. We'll get the layout and do it all at once, and then we can turn each one over, and then we can go welcome for each sign. Oops, there we go. Interesting that Pisces and Scorpio, 2 cards are jumping out for Pisces and Scorpio, and then we're choosing Cancer. That's happened so far. So the spectrum of energy as well. That's the macro. This is the micro for Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So we're noticing there's a slightly different colour blue. I don't know if you can actually tell that there. This blue is slightly darker than this blue. Very mild. Bottom, top, the unaware unseen, and the top, the aware seen. So I'm not sure now if this is actually going to be too much, but we've started it now. And then at the end we'll do Ophiuchus, which for us Ophiuchus brings it all together. Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer, the great healer, and for us the serpent is the Kundalini energy rising. There's Scorpio, there's Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, bottom and the top. We're so tempted not to do that thing that goes on with the tongue and the mouth and the clicking, but it's the energy, that's how the energy flows through us. It's like someone with Tourette's or whatever. Okay, so that works. So starting with Pisces. So hi, namaste, hi Pisces. Thank you, Pisces, for welcoming us in to experience and perceive through your lenses of perception, lenses and filters of perception. And the Liffruma card, the legendary Liffruma card we have for you, Pisces, 22, the Master Builder number of intuition, the number of major arcana in the tarot. 2 is the balance, is one of the bridges from the seen world. So when you've got the 1 to 9 and you take out your 3, 6, 9, the Tesla code, you're left with 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and the 2 and the 8 for us is the bridge from the seen world, the tangible world, over to 6, the bridge from the unseen world, the spiritual world, the subjective. Which is very good for Pisces. Pisces, you are more spiritual and you're more subconscious, more spiritual, fluid, the most mature of the signs. 12 is the subconscious, getting deep into the depths of the subconscious and the sea. 2 is the number of patience as well. You've got the High Priestess at number 2. Number 20 is judgment, both made of number 2 there. These actually could be like the white dove, the judgment card of the dove of peace. So there's like a piece. So we're just going to obviously go into the colours and the pathology first. We've got the 2 crosses. Or you can have like the square in the middle. So this could be like the body and the trunk with the legs and the arms. We kind of have a focus around holistic health and well-being, and the body and the breath, if one hadn't noticed. 2 minus 2 is 0. So all master numbers have the 0 and the 1 by the golden ratio. The master numbers for us therefore bring a point, a central point of balance, a centering point, which also suits the symbol here, and the calm and the peace, and I think Zendaya's coming in, and the joy. So there's been in Pisces, through Pisces lenses and filters of perception experience. Hello, beautiful. You want to come up here and say hello? Okay. So Zendaya's come in. We haven't seen him all day. You've got biscuits in your bowl and you've got water, right, sweetheart? Cats are very intuitive, psychic, although the felines are represented normally by Leo energies over Pisces energies. But is there a connection? What's going on between your Leo energies and your Pisces energies in your natal chart? What's going on in where you're living? If you were to do, like, the new moon's just gone for Cancer on Monday, if you were to print off a new moon chart with where you lived, what would be the energies going on for you between those energies currently where you're living with the houses? How do they match with your natal chart? If you were then to get a third chart out, which would just be the collective conventional house 12 belongs to Pisces rather than whatever you have in house 12. Our house 12 is Leo, although the very end of Leo, the very last degree of Leo, goes into house 1 because we're a Leo rising. So in the collective 12 Pisces, how does that then connect into where you're living with your Pisces Leo energies, and how does that connect in with your natal chart of your Pisces Leo energies? Pisces, your house 12, Leo, your house 5. This makes 4. So you've got 4 if you add them together, and you have 4 if you multiply them, actually. So this is 2 is a really special number because the addition and the multiplication are the same. The expansion and the infinite expansion are the same. So there's a real structural integrity and balance and coherence. So the integration, the centering. Pisces can normally feel a bit chaotic and off with the fairies, and can get a bit much. Pisces energy is ruled traditionally by Jupiter, but the modern one is Neptune, which can be related again to addictions and in excess. So I don't know how you're feeling, but the way we're feeling about this card is there is a real balancing. So there isn't in excess, and it's not deficient, there's not in excess. There's a real centering, a real balancing, the calm and the peace. The eye of the storm has been found. The storm may not be quite past because in the collective and what's around us, there's still quite a lot of chaotic energy. But because you found your own center, your own eye of the storm, where that calm exists, then you can be a focal point of balance and peace and calm and harmony for other energies that come in around you. But therefore, it's also really important that you do take time out for yourself, for your breath, for your body, so that you can recharge your battery. One needs to recharge their phone battery. One needs to put the car that runs on electric, they need to charge that up overnight or however often it needs to be charged up. And we heard once it's best to not let a battery go below 20% and to charge it up, and then the battery life will last longer. So you're never depleting the battery completely, and then it will last longer. And this is number 22, which is around 20%. We actually like to work on a ratio. So if we do balance out, you know, if we do want our sweet treats or processed food or the stuff that's not the best for the body, and the body's regeneration of the body, especially as we're getting older, then we will do a 22%, 78% balance. We'll attempt to be as much as possible. We right, Zendaya? We'll attempt to be as much as possible, 78% good and 22% bad, putting duality, reality, language to it. And this is duality is number 2. 2 is also on the Fibonacci sequence and the Lucas sequence. The Lucas sequence starts with 2 rather than 0. Lucas sequence starts, but it adds the previous number together. So you go from 2 to 1. Add them together, you get 3. 3 and 1 is 4. 4 and 3 is 7. So it goes 2, 1, 3, 7. No, 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 11, 18, 29. So in the Lucas sequence, a lot of them do add up together to make 2. 29 adds together to 11, but then goes down to 2. But this can also do the Fibonacci sequence, because you can start at 0 and 2 minus 2 is 0, which is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, etc. It's called ing, so we're getting into this. So we've done this, and 2x marks the spot, and we've got a double spot here. So for us, this is like the crossing point of the dantian and the lower dantian, for instance, or the crossing point, the dantian maybe being, we can't remember where it is. I think the dantian's the heart, and then the lower dantian's around your navel, and then the upper dantian, I think, is up here. We can't quite remember. But for us, this is relating to the body. To get the third cross in would then bring the head. So the third cross would be the head. The second, this cross here, that's not there, the head's out of the equation. It's about experiencing your water elements, your emotions with balance, with calm, with peace through your heart center, because your heart center connected to your lower navel center of emotions is what keeps the grounded, which is what keeps the grounded. If it goes up into the head, even though the triangulation of the 3, head, body, or they say head, mind, body, soul, they mind, body, soul, heart, but we also like to bring in nature, other stuff to it as well. But then the body is nature, we are nature. But the spirit's different again, and then you've got God. Mind you, God and spirit could be the same thing, or consciousness. We will get better at it. So the type ing is the word. So that's bringing in, like when you add ing to the end of a word, it's a verb, it's a present. Rather than I did, I'm doing, I'm going to do. So you've got your past, present, and future tense. This is a present tense. It's a verb, it's a doing. I'm playing, I'm dancing, I'm eating, I'm cooking, I'm gardening. So when you put the ing on the end of the word, it's the presence. And then you can, what is it? It's like an anagram, isn't it? When you mix up the words, you can swap this I, this N, and this G around, and then you've got the first 3 letters of ignite. When we are in the present moment, playing, cooking, eating slowly with awareness, gardening, dancing, surfing, cycling, singing, swimming, we bring ourselves into the present moment and we ignite the heart anchored second chakra sacral energies. These are an orange color as well, of creativity, creative flow, with passion through the heart, compassion with the pure source, with the pure flow of source energy, to bring you into your water meadow. A meadow is normally like a green grassy field we think of as a meadow, a green grassy field with flowers. But this is a water meadow. This is the water meadow on the base of a coral reef. You've got the beautiful sandy white sand base of a coral reef. We've got the orange coral, always picture all the coral going on, all the brightly coloured sea life. So you're in the water, you're in the emotions, you're in consciousness, cups energy, where creativity and inspiration flow from. And that's what happens with the present moment. So what does, it's quite a bit in there, we ought to check the times really, shouldn't we? But that's okay, it's on 25 past now. I'm sure that's probably been about 5 minutes. So we're just going to read the poem. Son of the sea, Freya's fertility, forces fauna from the soil's soul. Sunshine saturates the sacral as purified rain rolls to the roots of all life. The soaked, saturated seed split. The first thread of germination plunges down so the wild water meadow flowers can sprout, shoot, and bloom with the soul's new tune. Ignite the song of your water phoenix. So this is just beautiful. Pisces energies, you're the oldest, most mature sign that's got the capability and the strength and the courage to navigate the depths of your subconscious, the depths of the ocean, and to come full cycle from the plant into the flower, into the fruit, into the seed, ready again, because the seed holds that whole blueprint to start afresh again. So there's a real, and it's the end that is the beginning. There's a closing off of energies, but it's not just a closing off of energies, it's a closing off with an opening. You've got the one, it's not one door shutting and another door's opening, because you only got the in-between stage to go between the doors. You're in those revolving doors that you can just go in, and it's opening and closing kind of at the same time in those segments. It's a rotating, and you can go in and out at your ease on this rotating door. You've got a foot in the water, a foot on land, while it's all got all your feet in your heart. Powerful Empress energies we feel on that, but with the Empress and High Priestess energies is what we feel on that. So what's your macro? What's going on for your macro? Okay, you might have seen that, we didn't, but we're going to turn over the micro first, because which is what they were just saying, because we're talking about the sea, we're talking about the ocean, we're talking about the subconscious, which is your central nervous system. It's going deep within, it's your subjectivity, your subjective realm. So the micro first is what's happening, and it's the Four of Swords. So with all this energy that's gone through on the full cycles, from seed to seedling to plants to flower to fruit, back to seed again, it uses up a lot of energy. So there's a period of rest that's going on internally for you. And that's what we were saying before about the importance of balancing spirituality and practicality, especially balancing spirituality and practicality when one's work, or for us, this is us playing work, or starting, attempting to get the ball rolling, so that putting our faith and our trust that something, whether it's this down the line or something else that comes about, we will then be able to become financially self-sufficient. But we are still healing ourselves. So even with all this energy going on, do one's best not to get carried away with the current, because if we get carried away with the current, we're going to get lost out at sea. And still time's needed. Corpse pose is needed, otherwise there's explosion. And if we don't, something will kick in automatically, like a forced tower, unless we take the time to rest and understand the momentum of the cycles and don't just go in full pout overdoing it. We allow time for integration. So there's an integration period. Oh no, we bent the card. So it's really... So we've just bent the card, which really upsets us. We like things to be creased. So it's just what we're talking about. If you go into the energy too much energy, there's a crease that goes on, there's a crack that happens, there will be something that will happen to disappoint you. But look at that. You have a very gentle step up from your micro, your internal, your subjective of the Four of Swords, out to your surface, your macro, the Five of Swords. So you're so connected in chronological, is that the chronological order? 4 to 5? They don't look very, this one looks like, oh, it's all completely gone wrong. And this one looks a bit worried. And this one looks like she's just getting carried away with the flow of energies, just like we were saying in here. So your internal and your external realities aren't quite aligning, but they're pretty darn close. And it's your choice whether you're going to calm down and just rest because things aren't quite working out how you'd hope, and so therefore some rest is needed. Otherwise you might get stopped completely, and then you'll lose these beautiful, creative, flowing, present juices going on. And so Metatron, angels, 46, which is domestic harmony. Do you have domestic harmony, or do you need to create more domestic harmony and more balance? It's the authentic self. Who are you? Are you in a process of still discovering who you are? Is that why there's these you found the present flow state and the source energy? The balance is almost there but not quite there. Are you still on the journey of discovering yourself? You think you've discovered yourself and then something else happens and it's like, oh, maybe are you following conventional ways of understanding yourself? Conventional ways of understanding yourself is there's one identity, this is who I am, and actually we change depending what country we're in, we change depending whether it's day or night, we change depending on the astrological energies, we change whether we're in the country to whether we're in the city, we change to whether we're on our own, being still with no distractions, to whether we're listening to music. So does there need to be a change in perception, a change in understanding, the way the attachments we hold to words and the meanings of words? Are we able to see the full spectrum within the words, within our self-awareness, self-mastery, self-growth journey, to gain the balance and the understanding of who we are in the present moment, understanding that that can change? Okay, Pisces, thank you so much for letting us perceive and experience through your lenses and filters of perception. So we're actually going to turn these cards back over so that they don't confuse the energy, the flow of energies, but we will turn your top card over as well so that we're closing off those energies. So does that, so we're wondering now, is that what would be better to do with these energies so they don't get entangled? Pisces is the oldest sign, so you've traveled the whole journey of the chart, so it's familiar, but we are actually gonna, and so Scorpio is the same, so we're going to leave it open here, but then when we come to Cancer, Cancer's the youngest, the other two will be closed off, and therefore Cancer will only have to navigate their own energies. Yeah, we like that. Hi Scorpio, how are you? thank you for welcoming us into your energies, allowing us to perceive and experience through your lenses and filters of perception. Shall we see what we've got for you? This is your card. This is the card Scorpio that we've got as a focus here. Oh no, we didn't have you plugged in. Oh, we didn't have you plugged in because the headphones need to be plugged in, so the camera's died. So that's why we don't use you as a phone. So you have to, that's interesting, Scorpio. So you bear with us. We're just going to get our other phone, and that can be, have headphones in, stop see the feedback, and so we just have to do this setup again, but this one can have headphones in and it can be charging at the same time. It's on 70% battery, which isn't too bad. So we just have to invite this phone into the equation. That doesn't last long at all, that battery on there. And I don't know if there's such a thing as a double adapter where you can like charge it and listen on headphones at the same time. Oh yeah, true. It might be able to just use the other invitation, eh? Yeah, true. It might be able to just use the other invitation, eh? Yeah, Mum. There we go. Okay. Thank you for bearing with us. We'll do timestamps later on. So if you're watching this in the future, you'll be able to just scroll past what we're doing now. Okay, so that's charging. Take all you off. Why did that happen? Where do you go? Come back. Okay, we're just going to put Okay, we're just going to put this on full screen. Why isn't that working? Okay, auto rotate wasn't on. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful phone. Thank you, technology. We appreciate you. Oops. How's that? That's okay, isn't it? Turning the brightness up on our laptop to make it lighter down there. Yeah, I think that's okay. We're going to change the banner. They've changed the colour of the hearts. Not the banner, the brand. There we go. Okay, that's interesting. We've got it on full screen on us now, which we might kind of like prefer. So the quality of the camera isn't as good, we don't think. So we're on Scorpio. So hi, Scorpio. Thank you for welcoming us into experience and perceive through your lenses and filters of perception. There's your card, Scorpio. Let's see what we're dancing with on the Liffruma card. I'm sure the camera on this camera has been better than it is at this moment in time before, but there we go. So, learning. This was the bonus card for Sagittarius the other week. So we've got Scorpio, in your water energies, we're dancing with pinks and blues and browns. And it's about your feet, which is interesting. We've just come from Pisces. Pisces is the rule of the feet. You are the ruler of the pelvis, the groin area. This is so... Or maybe it's because we've got it on big screen. Maybe if we take it off big screen because it's frustrating us. There we go. We'll leave it like that because that just feels familiar. You're the ruler of, the pelvis, the groin, reproductive organs. And so if this is talking about feet, it's the energetic pathways from your feet. Your feet have the most bones. We can't remember how many. Is there like 106 bones in the feet or something? There's a load of bones in the feet. So is there energetic alignment happening or misalignment between your feet and your pelvis? What is your gait like? What's your walking like? We're seeing smoke in this card more today. Do you do any ceremonial practices with smoke? Saging, like we did with our little burner at the start here. Still, it's actually a little bit warm, but it's mostly out. Do you actually smoke yourself? Are you attempting to give up smoking? Marble effect patterns as well. We're seeing when you've got like put oil in water, or that marble effect. 31 is 13 reversed, which is the number of the death card in the tarot, which is your card. So there's great alignment going on there. Soul Prince, Scorpio, you are more of a mysterious sign with the death and transformation. And there's that phrase of like footprints, that leave footprints in your heart. True friends, the road's never long when you're with true friends that leave footprints in your heart. Is there a friend that you need to connect with, or want to connect with, or has a friend or connected with you recently, or maybe a friend's going to come in and connect with you, an old friend that's a deep heart connection from the past. Barefoot, rarefoot, stepping and treading with soul intention. A journey starts with a conscious step. A racing pace in haste to reach a destination punctures the soul's purpose. The tracks of our footprints map our past path. Our feet talk of where we have walked. Step deliberately with well-intentioned thoughts of love. So that's interesting that we're saying about an old heart connection friend with love might come back in, or you feel you might want to reconnect with them after there's been a period of transformation for both of you. What was connecting there? Are you rushing along in something too much? It was the bit that stood out was punctures the soul, a racing pace in haste to reach a destination punctures the soul's purpose. For us, the journey is the destination. Are you perceiving that you've got a destination you want to get with? Have you got yourself some targets and some goals? And maybe when you were planning, you didn't understand how long it would take to do something. For us, we know that however long we think it's going to take to do something, we need to almost quadruple that. So do you need to double or triple There's the number 3 and 1, so it could be triple. So next time you do some planning to be some more accurate on time management, so that you're not rushing through things, to triple the amount of time that you've got on it, to be aware that the journey is the destination, and whatever goals it is you're attempting to reach, to understand it's not all about the goals, it's not all about the achievements or the targets. It's about our connection to our heart and whatever it is we're doing. That's if we really care about what it is we're doing. Some people just want to get stuff done and get it out there. That's the modern consumerism world is like that, but we're holistic health and well-being, in alignment and sync with the symbiotic relationships of Mother Earth. And so we're looking at the card and the screen to try and keep it still for you. And so in the modern consumerism world, it doesn't have a holistic approach of the health and well-being of Mother Earth and the human. It's about getting a product. And in the old days, it would be a lot of effort went into that product. The product would last you a long time. Whereas now you can get something and then it'll break and you throw it away. So we're just creating more rubbish and waste. Or rather than maybe upcycling it or repurposing it, reusing it, recycling it, or choosing to spend a bit more money in the short term to actually buy eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, ethically friendly. Because everything that we do in our awareness of how we consume has a reflection back on us inside. So if we're just going into that snap hazard, quick, easy reality around outside of us, then it's going to have an impact of the same inside of us. And it's about, we want, especially as we're getting older, we want to, and we're always getting older, it doesn't matter what age you are, you're getting older. Eventually, if you're young, eventually that easy, not having a hangover and everything just generally being easy, you don't know how easy it is until you start losing it, unless you've really got that awareness as a younger person. And if you are a younger person coming into this, we're feeling you do have that awareness. Understanding the depth and transformative energies takes an emotional maturity, unless you're someone escaping into things. And we don't feel those energies, though. We feel that from this card that there's a rushing, and there needs to be a pacing oneself, understanding that you're running a marathon, you're not running a sprint. Yeah, okay, we're going to see what are your other cards. So we're going to keep the same pattern, and we're going to start with your micro. So this is your micro. Oh, because look where it brings you. When you get that balance and you get that pace of the ebb and the flow, aligned with your internal rhythms and cycles, aligned with the external rhythm cycles of Mother Nature, being able to handle the collective cycles and rhythms of the cosmos and the galaxy when they come, and any chaos that comes from the collective of humanity. 19, you have pride in yourself, but you're not too proud, because you've got the balance, you've got the ebb and flow. They've each got a black cat here in a field of sunflowers, and they're dancing in a circle in that circular flow motion. It's about understanding circular system routines over linear logical routines, getting up with sunrise every day rather than getting up at a set time every day, or following that pattern where in winter you get more rest and hibernate more than you do in summer. So your internal microcosm is absolutely shining when you balance out the rhythms and pace yourself and understand you're running the marathon, not a sprint. How do they align with your external rhythms? Look at that 5, the Hierophant. Because you know when to do, it doesn't have to be sit down meditation like this. It can be a passive active meditation, painting, drawing, cycling, playing music, or it can be a sit down one like this, or it could be qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, 5 rhythms, chakra dancing, doing things that for your external body that connect your, so we perceive the external reality through our 5 physical senses. Then we have to process all that information that comes in through the 5 physical senses that our limited conscious mind isn't hugely aware of. And when we get that balance and that pace, I would say bang on or spot on, but it's not. There's a spectrum. Within the spectrum, sometimes it'll be a bit more, sometimes it'll be a bit less. Then the sun energies are just beautiful. Are you right, darling? Okay, are you right? And there's just this wonderful harmony and alignment in your inner realms, in your outer realms. Do you want to come up here and say hello? Okay. You okay? Yeah. You can come up here and say hello if you want. But if you're not feeling these energies, like we're saying, then take up some practices where that balance, and some energetic practices that can balance your energies. So many different forms of yoga: shadow yoga, hatha yoga, ashtanga yoga, iyengar yoga. Look into what kundalini yoga. Look into what yoga would suit you if you want to do yoga, but you don't have to do yoga. But it's more of an energetic practice that involves the body, the heart, the mind, the spiritual side and the philosophy, but the grounding. So it's just to look in. Maybe you've got the dedication and willpower, you can do that on your own. Maybe you look around to see what classes are around. I mean, it might be that you don't get to choose what style, but you can see if there's any community classes that are close to you, and that might decide what you do. And you might go to one style class with one teacher and not like it, and go to the same style class, like you might go to hatha yoga with one person, not like it, and go to hatha yoga with another teacher and absolutely love it. So it really depends on that connection to the teacher, the facilitator, that's there at the same time. So not to be put off. It might take you a few occasions, just like if you're going to see a counsellor or a therapist, it might take a few to go to. But your energies are amazing, and this is energies, so it's a potential. So the potential there is amazing. Whether you're harnessing those energies depends on your own choice and free will. But if you do choose to do so, the outcomes, wow, look at it. It's sunny, it's magical, it's serene, it's calm, it's playful, it's fun, all those good, wonderful, nutritious words. Now let's see how Metatron's Archangel Metatron is aligning for you with this as well. Letting go, time for release. And we actually had a bit of a letting go, slight noise and twitch in our left abdomen there. So if we had that, we believe in the energies that are aligning. So maybe there's some energetics going on in your left rib cage area, which is having, we just had a gentle passing of wind through the upper channels. Maybe that's the area that will need a bit of focus for letting go. So maybe some twists. But then if you're doing the yoga, all of that will happen in the yoga. But we're getting the feeling this isn't a conscious letting go. This is if you are aligning yourself with these potential of energies that are there, this is going to be just a natural letting go that takes place. And we believe everyone has all the energies in their chart. So if you're looking at it from all the energies in the chart, I mean, where's your Scorpio? Are you a Scorpio sun that's come here? Are you a Scorpio Uranus or Chiron or Moon or Saturn or Jupiter? What house is it in? Maybe you don't have anything in your Scorpio energies, but you've still got your Scorpio energies. It just means there isn't any specific focus there in your natal chart. It's only when there's transits that are going through. Do you have any transits or aspects going through your natal chart? But yeah, there's just a natural release, a natural letting go that is just going to be so beautifully, wonderfully smooth, flowing, with sunshiny results, if you choose to harness these potential energetics and master the pace needed for a marathon, and don't go into a sprint. Oh, that was wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Thank you, Scorpio. That was an absolute pleasure. We sincerely hope that you, if you're not feeling already, that you manage to find that potential and access it and harness it, because the serenity that it's going to bring you into is just beautiful. So thank you, Scorpio, for allowing us to experience and perceive through your lenses and filters of perceptions. Take care. Cancer, hello, how you doing? Here we go, my little lobster friend. You look much more like a lobster in this picture than you do a crab. Yummy, yummy lobster. Don't worry, we're not going to eat you up. But there are your energies we're focusing on. The others are completely closed down because we're on the spectrum of the water elements. It's interesting, we've just come to you in this moment, and the insights and awareness that we ought to have started with the one of the spectrum of energies, whether it be the conscious aware seen, the top of the pack, the opening, or the closing, or when it doesn't matter which is the opening or the closing, just the aware, the seen, the conscious, or the unaware, the unseen, the unconscious, and that we ought to have started this journey with that. That would have made sense. But we are growing and we're learning and we're in this intuitive flow state. And we've come to those moments of insight in your energies, and we're in the Cancer Sun energies at the moment. But if we remember correctly, it actually might be going into Leo. What date is it that goes into Leo? Is it the 21st? Because that is today. So, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? So Venus is going retrograde tomorrow. Chiron, I think, is going retrograde at the same time or very close to. And we go into Leo tomorrow. So we're in the last degree, last bits of the degree, because we're the end of the day here where we are, of your Cancer energy. So we were talking about being in the present moment. So we're in the most mature part of your Cancer energies at the last degree. The last degree, 29 degrees, we recently learned is the shaman degree. Are there connections to, it doesn't have to be shaman. Shaman's just a word. A shaman is someone that's very grounded, connected to plant medicine, plant nature, to sound healing, sound medicine, movement, just connected to the energetic realms through that shaman perspective. So do you have any shaman degrees, 29 degrees, in any of your natal chart placements? And it's Cancer energy, so you don't have to be a Cancer sun. Everyone's got all of the astro energies in them. So how does that apply for you in any of your energetics? And bringing ourselves into that present moment, what is the creative juices, the inspiration, the planning, the logic? Are things starting to kind of flow together for you? Like they're still seeming a bit kind of a wobbly, a bit hey over here, over there, but it is actually, you've got the threads and you can bring them together and start weaving them, whereas before you couldn't even see the threads. You had to go buy them or purchase them or find them before you could even start weaving. So that's interesting that we've just got those feelings come in for you, Cancer, before even turning your Liffruma card over. So let's see what Liffruma says. we just said how you can see those threads, and you're just bringing the threads in now to finish weaving your dream weaver, your web, your matrix of the body, whatever it is. For us, 64 is complex stability. For us, 64 is the Merkaba, the star tetrahedron, the two tetrahedrons on top of each other. So with the weaving that you're doing of these new creative juices and inspirations flowing in with your present moment on your last degree, your shaman degree, because you're heading to your blind spot is Gemini, but where you're heading to is Leo on the initial one. So you can get awareness from both of those signs, and your opposite is Capricorn. But for the blind spot, it tends to be your blind spot can be really hard, but it also can be really hard with doing your opposite. So looking at your blind spot and your opposite together with your destination future Leo energy. So when you look at Leo's traits, look at Capricorn's traits, look at Gemini's traits, and bring them all together, it will be easier to see your denials, see your blind spots, see what you need to balance you out. So you're kind of working with a few energies at once to take a little bit from each resonates with you. It's an intuitive heart thing. You might feel drawn to something because of the color. You might feel drawn to something because of the shape or the pattern, or just how it makes you feel when you think about it or see it or what have you. But there's a complex stability happening, a karmic completion. 6 + 4 = 10 in the expansive realms. In the contractive realms, you're on a ±2, which were the number actually of Pisces energies that came in. 2 was the dominant number there. 6 is the number unconditional love. 4 is the number of firm, strong, flexible, balanced foundations, which are really important. And 2 is balance. It's a choice card as well, balance of masculine and feminine. And 4 actually was the number of Scorpio. 31 was the Scorpio card, which added together make a 4. So you have your claws in all the water energies. You have an understanding of all the water energies in your chart, in your body, which is beautiful, because then when you get these threads all coming in from all directions, they're from all your body. You can put them together and create this divine masculine complex structural integrity. Because you're a watcher, you've learned to observe yourself, you've learned to witness yourself, you've learned to be able to step back, observe and watch yourself, your actions, your words, without judgment, with compassion, with patience, with curiosity, with want and intention to understand yourself, so that you can understand how you learn, so that you can be the best person you can be for you, for those around you. Animal totem. What animals speak to you? Do we see any animals in this card now? We've seen a little baby bird there. And a fox, a curled up fox. And a cow's head, an eye from a cow's head. Cows are very sacred in India. The 10 of Cups card from our India deck, which got burned accidentally or not accidentally, depending if you speak to our subconscious or our conscious, is the 10 of Cups cards, which is the beautiful family emotions. It's the end of the pack. 64, the 10. But it's the end and the beginning. The baby bird that we saw, the fox that's curled up resting. So yeah, are there animals that speak to you? Do you need to connect to animals more? We talked about watching yourself to learn about yourself. What about watching animals? We can watch nature and watch animals and learn about ourselves through watching animals as well. So the poem. Spirit familiar, frequency that waits, watching for you to sight its presence. It does not walk with you, but gazes through the glare of beasts and bugs that eyeball you. When you eventually connect, it will walk with you, reach out to teach you, and then flee like the sun at dusk. This is your connection to the creatures around you, and is the breath that connects to all the mystical fauna you've previously been. Cherish the lessons, those unremembered creations, creatures. Are you your own animal totem? Do you have a mythical animal totem? Can you create? Do you want to, or can you, or maybe creating your own mythical animal totem? That's what we've done accidentally. But yeah, we love our mythical animal totem. And so your microcosm, this is your micro, this is your macro. The microcosm, what's happening in your internal subjective reality. 6 of Pentacles. So we've got the complex stability, 64. We had your 10 of Cups. And now we've got your 6 of Pentacles. 6 is the bridge on the center of the Tesla code, the 3, the 6, the 9, the bridge from the unseen to the seen, which is perfect. If this is your microcosm, your internal subjective reality, it's the unseen, it's the intuitive, the subjective, the central nervous system, your emotional house. You're on the bridge. Not only are you on the bridge of 6, but you're on the bridge of the 6 of Pentacles, the 6 of Earth. So you're in the most manifested energetics into physical form in your unseen internal subjective reality in your body, ready to just get on that bridge and flow out to the macrocosm. You're feeling stable, you're feeling balanced, you're feeling secure and grounded. Like 6 Pentacles, there's a balance of money. You've got abundant food here. You're giving this some guy some gold coins or something. You're just content and relaxed on your face. So there's a peace, there's a calm, which would make sense in your internal subjective reality. These are energetics. So whether you're actually feeling these energetics, these are the potential of energetics for the Cancer collective that you have a choice, free will, to harness or not. Do you choose to harness this potential of energies and put the actual energy in, the time in, to harness these energies and receive the rewards? They're energetics. Energetics don't always transpire into the physical. We have to choose to take a journey that allows that to happen through action of some sort. And it doesn't, for us, it's work smarter, not harder. It's maximum output, most ease. So it doesn't matter what situation we're in, whether we're low energy or high energy, there's always something that we can choose to do or not. And look at that. It doesn't, because your macro, your outside world, is feeling like an effort. So we're feeling that maybe it's like, oh my God, you're telling us we've got all this ground, firm, balanced, happy, content, abundant internal reality going on. It's, I don't feel like that at all. What are you talking about, woman? But they're the energetics that we have to harness. So if these were the other way round, the internal reality would be chaos, but you'd be presenting a surface of, actually, no, everything's fine, everything's okay, I'm wonderful. And inside you're just screaming and crying and wanting to get out. That's not the case. It's the other way round. The energetics on the inside that you can harness and jump on are beautiful. And even though it's feeling like an effort on the outside, there's something that you're choosing consciously to do. Maybe you're choosing to consciously live from your conscious mind because you don't have the awareness to live from your heart. You're not aware there's another path, another direction that one can take to embrace these energies, where it is work smarter, not harder, where it is maximum output, most ease. We prefer those words to maximum output, least effort. Maximum output, least effort, because in the world's manifestation, unless we're completely clear channel, tubular bodied, enlightened human that has no more toxins to purge, which in this modern world, and with the generational lineage of each of us and our cultural lineage, generally isn't the case, because that does take a lot of time and energy and effort. Then we just lost our track there. Yeah, you're not going to be a really enlightened being. So choose to become aware that there is a path where we have to trust in the unseen, the unknown, in collaboration with our heart, the deepest depths of our heart, and trust and choice and free will, that we can harness the journey of maximum output, most ease. And then we won't be constantly carrying the brooms up a mountain, hurting our back, with the cat's claws digging into us, so there's extra pain. Instead, we've taken off our cloak, we've made a pouch that our cat can just lay in on the front, we've stacked these up and put them over our shoulder in a V thing on the back, so we can put both arms on them and like lever carry them, so that our arms are actually supported. It's pushing our shoulders down, pushing the weight into the earth with gravity, so it can have that Newton's law, equal and opposite reaction, pushing up to just smoothly walk up that mountain and create. We just got to change the pattern, we just got to change the posture, whether it's from the mental mind first, or whether it's from the body first, or whether it's from the heart first. And you are the heart, the chest, and the breast. You are the chest area, the breasts, and the stomach. So when we're hunched over like this lots, then we just got to change our pattern and posture. Talking about that. Oh, we almost fell on the floor then. Then we have to shift and move around on our posture to help things shift up the energy and move the energy. Because if we don't shift up a posture in the physical body, or in the emotional body, or in the mental body, then stuff becomes stagnant. And when stuff becomes stagnant, it becomes more rigid, it becomes more tight. And those threads that you're pulling in to weave, there's not going to be enough slack to do it. You're going to put, they're there, you've got hold of them, you pull them in, but they don't all quite reach into the middle. You need more length, you need more slack, but you can only do that to create it, to create movement, to create flow. And maybe that is in your front area. And you may wish to look on YouTube to do something like that first, or you may just wish to connect in with your breath, and your heart, and your deeper self, or your higher self that some call it, or your soul, or God, or whatever it is that you use for to understand there is a force out there greater than us little mere humans. Sleep reprogramming before you go to bed at night. Talk to yourself, if there's anything that's resonating, and just say, what is there that I could do to, or I think this is what I need to do. I don't know if that's the case. That's my conscious mind. Maybe there's something else. Please, can you guide me through my dream to sleep dream time, or my waking dream time, or a moment of inspiration or clarity, so that you can harness these internal subjective realities. And from the Archangel Metatron, because that brings because it's just beautiful. It brings you into 10, a new dawn. Welcome back. Welcome home, Cancer, to your heart. There's your 10-10, a double karmic completion. And not even just a double karmic completion. You've managed to see the perspective of the 10 of Wands that isn't negative. You've got 10-10-10. You've got a triple karmic completion. You've got a triple phi. You've got PHI, the mathematical term for the center of that, like the spiral, the Fibonacci of the pine cone, of the sunflowers. Wow, 10-10-10, 3 endings, 3 beginnings. Power of 3, so be it. And even then, that's the 6 of Pentacles, and you've got 66. 66 is the number of healing, and 4, the leftover on its own, that's the collective house of Cancer, house 4, of your home, of your roots. You've created the slack, you can pull it all in, you can finish your weaving. Everything is just the potential of energetics that is there for you if you wish to choose to apply and take action and put in little bits of effort with compassion and patience. You're on a beautiful ride and journey that you can embrace. So that was wonderful energies to experience. Thank you, Cancer, for letting us experience and perceive through your lenses and filters of perceptions. Take care. So we're just going to turn them all over now because we're dancing with the theme of the water energies. So thank you, elemental water forces, for allowing us to experience and perceive through your lenses and filters of perception, and managing to stay grounded and not get too emotional. So bringing the water elements together, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, 64, 31, 22, 10, 4. So there's the 4 connecting in with Cancer. 46. So look at that, 46 with 64, 10, 10, 10, 10, 22, which equals 4, 4, 4, 4. Scorpio, your house 8. Pisces, your house 12. 31 is 4, 4, 4, 4. 10, 10, made up of 2 4s and a 6. There's your 6 here. And another 10. Here's a 5 and a 19. 19 is another 10. Oh my God, the water elemental forces. Look at this. Absolutely incredible. 24 is actually the number of your card water, which is another 6. And then we've got a 5 of swords and a 4 of swords. There's another 4 and a 5 here with the 5 on the Hierophant. So you've got a 5, 5. You've got 4, 4, 4, your house 4, 4 down here, 6, 6. So we've got 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So that's 5 4s. We've got 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. No. 10, 10, 10. So we've got 5 4s, we've got 5 10s, we've got 2 5s that make another 10, so that's 6 10s. 6 10s brings in the number 6, and you've got 1, 2, 2 6s here. 24 makes a 6. 6 on its own, and then you've got 64 and 46 that has 6s in them and 4s in them. So your 4s, your 6s, your 10s, and then a dash of 5. Four is structural integrity, firm, strong, flexible, balanced foundations. The foundations is the most important thing of a building. 6 is the unconditional love, the bridge from the unseen to the seen. And you've got your 2s and your 8 for Scorpio, from your seen to the unseen. You've got all bridges covered. And the 10, the karmic completion, the ending and the beginning. The ending is the beginning. So for a water fluid energetics that can get carried away unless it's got the vessel to contain it, you have the structural integrity of 4 to contain the vessel, to contain the water. So things aren't gonna, the rivers aren't gonna run away, the boundaries aren't made of sandstone anymore, they're not gonna break. Your new dawn is happening. Welcome back home to your heart, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, water elemental forces in your chart. we're just a bit gobsmacked, and we've just gone into the numbers, and just like the water elemental forces. Wow, you're the water rapids flowing with momentum that then can just calm back and rest in that beautiful pool for a while, where it widens, and you've just got the ebb and the flow and the balance. So we're going to go into the unconscious, unaware spectrum of energies for you, water elemental. Because with these beautiful numbers, you're 55, you're the number of adventure. You know how to go down the water rapids on your canoe and experience the high adrenaline moments, and you know when to pull back and just pull your canoe up, put it on the side, have a little paddle, float on your back, lay in the sun, do a bit of, is the camera going to come back, do a bit of meditating. You know when to rest and to be, but you also know when to do, when to give, when to do and apply. Because you got the double dose of change again. We just said fives were the number, equaling 10, another karmic completion. So that's 7 10s you've got now, aligned with the macro year of 2023. 7's big at the month. We're in in July, we're in the 7th month. We're in the month that connects Cancer and Leo. Cancer, we just said for Cancer previous, your Cancer in your body is your chest area, your breasts and your stomach area. And we were talking about slack in the Cancer and creating more slack, so we can, the threads that we can hold, they're a bit taut, we need to pull them in some more. So we need to create some slack to pull them in to finish off weaving the Celtic knot, the dream weaver, so that the stomach, the belly can implode inwards and disappear, because we've utilized our breath and we're connecting in with the fire energies of Leo, if through the month and energies of 7 and July. July holds Cancer and Leo. July holds water and fire. We'll be going into the fire elemental forces next. So just awesome. Eitbestan. Burst out. Free. And that's the symbol. Your firm foundations, your pattern on the top. Tension creaks and arches as the ancient yew bow suppresses rayless torches endured for aeons. The arrow shaft only holds so long. Even when the serving point is pulled tight and knuckled back, fastened hearts demand their liberation. The taut bowstring knows this foe obsessive pairing will eventually break free from its narcissist fist. At some point, it will burst out and flee the archer's control. Fletcher's gift arrows feathers to sail safely away, flying alone to target a new home. Over our head, they're flown away like sticks on the water. They don't have the same harmony, although the nails kind of go well with it. They don't have the same harmony and flow of the energies that we were talking about here. The arrow, we need to contract. We need to pull the arrow back for it to be able to take off its momentum. We need to be able to have the hand-eye coordination and the strength to hold the bow, and we need to have a focused destination to aim the arrow to, or it will fly away free. But this is also talking about the supports of the shelf that are holding the arrows before one goes to get the arrows. So you have your arrow in use, but how many arrows do you have in your backpack with you? Have you used them all back up? Do you need to go back to the store shed and get some more? Maybe you go back to the store shed, but you haven't actually planned ahead for the winter because you were so busy in summer growing your food and doing everything ready for the winter to hunt the animals, because you wouldn't be able to eat all your fresh fruit and veg as much, and you would need the meat to get you through winter more. This is metaphorical, it could be literal as well, but you know, so do you need to make more arrows? Do you need to think and plan? You need to save a little bit of money, and not just completely spend it all summer because you're getting carried away with the flow of parties. Worm! Okay, so next door's kitten Worm's come in now. He's a young boy kitten. Not a real young kitten. He must be about a year old now. And he's going to get this because we don't have the energy to get up and move and take him out and close the window. Although maybe we shall do that because we're talking about applied action. So bear with us a second. Out. Go on, darling. Out. Out. Go on. We're going to have to pick you up. You say hello. Hi. My name's Worm. Yeah. You snuck in there, but you go back out now, yeah? Yeah, out the window. Out. And we're going to close it. Bye. Okay. So yeah, the storehouse, the arrows, and maybe you have made the arrows, maybe you have planned, and maybe you have been prepared, so much so that there's too many arrows and they're too heavy for the shelf, and you need to make another, you need to either strengthen the shelf that you've got, or you need to make another shelf. Because it's better to have too much, some ready left over for next year than it is for this year. But then you need to be able to have an organized space, an area to handle the extra that you've prepared. So that's what we're getting from that. That's the subconscious, the unaware, unseen. So are you prepared? Are you so prepared that you need to look further down and create the storage units and organize yourself better? Or do you need to prepare more? Are you talking about your imminent when you're going out on your back and your shelf? Or are you talking about the storehouse? You know, see how that fits for you. And so in the subconscious, the unaware, the unseen, there's the micro and the macro. So the micro of the unaware, the unseen, we would interpret as being the one that's further away and hardest to reach because it's really small. It's really hard to see. We need a tool. We need something else to be able to see it. Whereas the macro of the unaware, the unseen, is easier to grasp, easier to see. We just got to kind of turn the light on. It's not hidden behind something else. So we're going to turn over the macro first, the easier to see. Look at this number alignment. Your water energetics in your body are so aligned. The potential for the water energetics is so aligned. And if it's not been harnessed, that's something that you need to connect into your heart, your body, your breath, nature, dream time, higher self, and just ask for the guidance. We just remembered that we moved that because of the microphone thing, so we were just checking it wasn't getting too hot. To ask for the guidance, or maybe you're doing exactly, just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing, and it is just flying on your water energetics, because we said the numbers here were 4, 5, and 6, and the 2, and you do have the 3 and the 1. But here's 24, 22, 64. It's only this one in the middle that's 31. That's the odd one out. And your 10s. And this is 6, the lovers, the union. You got their, not only have you got their tails crossing over and making a heart, but you've got the cross and the mirror reflection. The cross marks the spot. You've got the center of the cross. That was Pisces' very first 2 crosses, about the heart and the body, the navel, the energetic center, the heart center. 6 is like, it's the choice, the union. You've got a ghost up here in the smoke, the spiritual and the heart body, the spiritual body, the physical body. Well, not the physical body because we're in the water energetics, but your heart, your spiritual, your emotional are all aligned, and potential therefore of these energies to harness, to manifest into the physical, which is what's coming at the end, because we're on the water energies now, is just absolutely beautiful and amazing. And therefore, because there's this integration, this connection, this coherence, wow, it's another 10. It's another 10, water. It's the 10 of cups. We were talking about the 10 of cups. Oh, we were in your card, in Cancer's card, sorry. We were talking about the cow's head and the eye in Cancer's card. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You got your picnic. So what's hidden on the unseen in the micro is your 10 of cups energies. If you choose to put the time in, understanding about working smarter, not harder, maximum output, most ease, just sacrificing a few other little things that probably really don't serve your holistic health and well-being or Mother Gaia's, then this is what's waiting for you. This is what's waiting for you in your unaware, unseen, micro and macro energetics. 6, the lovers, the major arcana, and the 10 of cups. 10 of cups, water. That's your card. So just wow, 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 wow. So what is your Archangel Metatron? 24, your water card. 42. The numbers, the numbers, the numbers. Go with the flow. Paddle on. So what do we have? Go with the flow and paddle on, because you're going with the flow. So there's a natural, when you go with the flow, there's just a natural time of release. There's your 4 of letting go. We don't have to force the letting go with your 5, the Hierophant, and 19, the Sun, because you've understood how to utilize the internal Cancer and the internal micro Cancer energies to change the macro Cancer energy, so that you change the posture, so that there's not such an effort cat walking this up the hill. Check out the Cancer reading if you want to understand that story a bit more, because you embraced your authentic self. You learned to pace yourself for the marathon rather than running a sprint. So that you can be on your 4 of Swords energies and rest when you need to in your micro Pisces energies, to counterbalance the 5 of Swords macro energies, where things just don't seem to be lining up and adding up because you're not giving yourself enough rest, or you're not tapping into whoever you are in the present moment. See the Pisces reading if you want to understand that more. Because when you bring all of this together, you gain your new dawn. You're welcoming back in your Cancer energies. Welcome home to your heart, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, to your soul, to nature, to the symbiotic harmonious relationship with your internal cycles and rhythms and Mother Gaia's. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. What's that? That's not Otis Redding, is it? It's a new dawn. It's a new day. That's a song that maybe you would like to listen to. And so if that's your subconscious, that's what's waiting for you that you're unaware of. What are you aware of? Are you actually aware of this and what's going on? And are you in moments of chaos or calm? No, you're in beautiful energies, in your conscious, aware, seen energies, aligning with the microcosm of Scorpio energies of 19, the sun. 19 to us is connected to 16, 61, and 91. 19 is the number of pride, the number of the sun card, obviously, we've got it here. 91, its reverse, is the card, the number of surrender. You're surrendering to your authentic self, to go with the flow of your subconscious, the unseen, so that you just naturally let go, just effort whatsoever, to bring your new dawn, your new day, to get to your six, the lovers, and 10 of cups energies, because you put in the little bit of effort to connect to your body and heart, but it's not an effort because you enjoy it. It brings you joy when your body feels so calm, because you understand 61, self-love, which brings you to 16, your rebirth, your conscious, aware, invited in, gentle tower moment. Tower is the card of Mars. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So when you bring in the traditional practices but don't hold on to them, you balance tradition and the modernness and your own integrity and your own expression of it, all just comes together into 16, which is tempting to tidy up a little bit at the same time. This is just what an amazing start. So you're 16 on the consciously aware scene. Sizzle, sun, life force energy. Your life force energy is just the potential to harness these energies, and your conscious aware scene, it's there, it's flowing. Are you just going to step on? Maker of all things, force of warmth, melting ice to release physical existence, imbued with being, the life creating light that shines and shifts. This nomadic force fights to remain in flux, fluid and flowing. To step with the sun is to sail the cosmic sea and be as light and alive as a precious jewel pinned upon the rolling sky above. I'm going to put this here, just in the center at the moment. So this is the consciously aware scene. So we're going to go to the more hidden part of the aware scene, conscious, the micro of the conscious. It's another 10. We've got the 10 of cups on your, so you've got to get through your 10 of swords, the micro aware conscious scene, to get to your 10 of cups after going through your 10 of wands energies, which you know how to change the posture of now to make it feel like effortless effort, because that's what aligned posture does for you. Because you harnessed your 6 of Pentacles, Cancer, microcosm Cancer energies within. This is reminds us also to do Shavasana, where you lay on your front, not on your back. And you know, when you've got those lots of tiny little points on those mats, pointed mats, to lie on them, it's like an acupressure thing. So you can either pay to go and get some acupressure done, or the money that you spend to go and get one acupressure thing, you can get a mat which has lots of those little things on, and you can lay on that and just practice yourself laying on that to stimulate your peripheral nervous system, the superficial muscles of your skin, to help you access the unaware 10 of cups that's inside.
There's something else that's coming through then, but we lost it. And it's going to be uncomfortable to start with, and you're not going to like it to start with, because then whenever we do anything new, it's not nice. Cold water therapy is really good for us, but initially it feels horrible. So it's about gently bringing yourself into it. Because when you do, eventually you're just going to feel light as a feather when you're laying on the mat. So because you're light as a feather, they're not going to poke into you as much. If you feel like you've been stabbed in the back, you won't feel like you've been stabbed in the back anymore, because the swords are as light as a feather and they're barely touching you. He's gone now. The enemy, the whatever was worrying you, is running away. It's gone. It's just the residual trauma frequencies that are there. What do animals do? You know, we've seen our cat, what do animals do when they've had a traumatic event happen? They'll take themselves off into a corner and they'll hide and they'll just shiver and shake, and they'll shake the trauma away. So just have a shake. Have a sound. Shake and sound those residual trauma frequencies away, subtly, softly, gently, because the energies are incredible. That's 8 10s that we've got now, if we've kept count of it. So what's going on in your macro aware conscious scene? It's another 6. Tito por my day night, Momo. We know that our energies are aligned to channel in the energies, but we didn't realize that our energies were this aligned to channel in the energies. And it's just absolutely amazing. We're just putting another cushion under our knees to stop our knees being hypermobile, hyperextending. Because we can't sit with our legs bent or crossed anymore. But that's good. How many 6s we don't know how many 6s we've got there, but we've got the 16, it's got the 6 in it, and the 1 from 31. We're gonna have to calm this down. This has just been an hour on you guys. So 6 of Swords. Bye-bye to the old toxic water energies, the old toxic emotions. Taking the swords out of my back. And we left 4 swords behind for anyone else that needs a sword or a tool on the journey. Pay it forward. Love you, but leaving you. We're starting anew. We're starting afresh. With the leaves. The letting go just naturally in the wind. No effort, effortless effort because of the posture. Look at the other signs of Pisces, Scorpio and Cancer to bring you in. Oh, look at that. We've come down from the 10 into the 9 on the addition to bring you into endings. You are held. You are held. Hug yourself. Hug yourself and love yourself. You love your water elemental energies. Drink clean water. Purify your water with shungite maybe. Get some other type of filter. Buying bottled water is not healthy for the environment. We're looking for holistic health and well-being in us, and that's ethical and environmentally friendly, because when we put in those small actions for the environment that's ethical, we get a return and a reward for that in ourselves. So it's worth spending a little bit of extra money. It's worth not going out to the pub for one night of the week, if you go out lots, and using that money instead. It's worth having a pint or 2 less. It's worth walking instead of driving. It's worth cycling instead of driving. You can save your money on that while getting exercise, to have the extra funds then to put into the ethical, environmentally friendly stuff that has a payback, because there's an ending, there's a final, those doors, that rotating door that we're talking about, I think it was in Scorpio, this is closing off the portals that aren't anymore, from the trauma frequencies, from the in all your bodies that you're resting. You can have your final rest. You can have your final rest before you have full completion in the physical reality 9 of your sun energies, your life force energies, your sun energies of Scorpio being your pelvis, where most of the trauma, fear and anxiety resides, to get to your 10 of cups, to get to your lovers of your union and yourself, to make yourself whole balanced people to you, not trauma bonding. And beautiful water elementals, beautiful. Thank you so much, water elemental, for letting us perceive and experience through your lenses of perception. Filters and lenses of perception. They were wonderful. And thank you. So we're just gonna tidy up. Bye-bye, water. Thank you so much. You can go on this side. And that was a long one. I think it was an hour, quarter past maybe. So that's an hour and a half. So I don't know if it's going to take that long on all of them, or whether it's just going to take that long on that one, starting off and the flow. It does tend to normally speed up a little bit as things move on. But we like to put the cards back because then it shows where there's overlapping frequencies. So therefore, when the same card comes out again, it can be challenging for a reader for the same card to come out again to see a new narrative and shift energies. But at the same time, for us, when we get those overlapping frequencies, it shows the alignment and the connection that's happening between the different elemental forces, between the different astrological energetic forces, or the cardinal fixed mutable forces. And it doesn't take that long to kind of put them back and shuffle. If we were to do them all at the start, all at once, like we did with water, we did all the water at once, so there wasn't any way we'd be able to get overlappings between the water signs and energies. Yeah, we do really enjoy doing this. I think doing it how we are doing it is a long. I don't know if it's so sustainable, but in a way it kind of is, because it's like it takes a lot of energy and effort for us to set up. It's like a couple of hours beforehand to set up and prepare ourselves and get into it. And so it's like whenever we used to do work and shift work, it was almost easier to do a 12-hour shift. And in the care support work, we'd do a 12-hour shift and on YouTube, it looked like we were still live, but we've come back in and it's still here. So we're going to end there. Absolutely gobsmacked, in awe of that reading. So Scorpio energies was talking about management of time, understanding it's a marathon, not a sprint, and to get the pace right. And I mean, it's 3 hours 3 minutes now, 3 hours 3 minutes 30. By the power of 3 by 3, so be it. The numbers in that and the alignment of those water energies were incredible. But for us, it is doing it for too long. So what we're actually going to do is we are going to be back next week and the following week and the following week. So next week, Friday, we'll go live with the fire elementals. So we'll do the same pattern again as we did for the water elements, but we'll do it for the fire elements. And then we'll come back and we'll do earth, and then we'll come back and do air. So we'll be back for the next 3 weeks. We'll get the thumbnails up and ready for them. Legendary Liffruma water. I suppose I don't know what we'll do it for it. We don't need to tell you now. So that was just really interesting because we had just come to that connection and we were just going to tell you. But for us, we know what's really true and aligned because we understand how humans lie to themselves. We're our own worst liars. And we understand from when we've done mirror work and we look in the mirror and we're missing limbs and our head's on back to front, how the wiring, especially when we've experienced any kind of trauma in any of the bodies, it can distort how we perceive and experience things. And it's not a mental construct. It's sometimes just the wiring with how the information gets from how we experience the seen tangible world reality through our five. That information goes in, that the energy then goes in through the processing systems and models of the body to where it needs to go. Hence why for us it's really important about our gut biome, all our biomes, but especially our gut biome, to send the information to the brain to then turn the electrochemical energy into electromagnetic energy to then tell the body what to do. So that's where our dissociative identity disorder, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, fibromyalgia, all of it together. This is why it's really important for us. And so we just realized, okay, we need to end there. And then that for us, own internal subjective reality or external, what it looks like it is. When We've come on to end it, and we're just going to finish off what we're going to say on YouTube. I think it's going to be easier. Bye.